I've seen the dark shadows moving in the woods, and I have no doubt that whatever I have resurrected through this book is sure to come calling for me.
So welcome back. This is episode...
Too many.
4?
3.
We're about to retire.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is Pixel. You should know this by now. This is a very special episode. I'm so excited. I got to see my favorite.
I thought it's all about you.
It is all about
He's like, I got to see. And it's not that we went and saw it, you know, and I was there with you. No, it's just I got to go see.
That's right.
No one else. You narcissistic douche.
Well, you know, my favorite movie franchise got rebooted. Not really a reboot. Not really a remake.
An update.
Yeah, kind of its own thing. It exists on the side. Everybody, this last week at the top of the box office, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
No, you know it was awesome. Don't let this guy fool you. He came out just as excited as I was.
It was so good.
It was amazing.
There was throw up on chicks. There was a chick who split her tongue down the middle and was like licking another lady's leg and trying to make out with her all blood.
With 2 tongues.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I had the weirdest boner during that scene. It was
We
so
share all
weird.
kinds of crazy secrets.
My favorite scene was the tree.
Oh man, dude, that tree.
Oh, the tree scene.
That tree rape scene was crazy.
It made me cringe in the bottom of my
It's
pants.
so weird. Not for me.
I don't. Oh, so a lot of let's woo!
We got a lot to talk
Ahead of
about.
myself, yeah. So Evil Dead came out. It topped the box office. I've gone and seen it twice. Would like to see it one more time. That's how much I liked it. But there are some people that are unhappy with it. I think the majority of people actually pretty much enjoyed it. It's a fun movie. Don't go watching this movie to expect a crazy awesome plot. It's kids in a cabin getting killed.
Gruesomely.
Very gruesomely. By the way, spoilers. Just in case, we'll probably be talking about some stuff. If you haven't seen it, plan on seeing it. Don't ruin it for you. Just go watch it. Especially if you know the legend behind the movies. The original trilogy is such a beloved thing. It's amazing.
Thank you, Nintendo.
Club Nintendo. Take our bonus survey and get coins now.
I'm just trying to push coins.
It's
people.
fun.
That's my fault.
Anyway, no, a lot of people went to see it. We were in a packed theater with people. It's not I wouldn't say it was a scary movie. It had some jumps to it. It was gruesome.
Yeah, but there were scenes where some people were like, the whole theater was laughing. There's 1 or 2 scenes where like a good portion of the theater jumped a little bit.
Screamed and
so.
a lot of squeamish stuff. But painful hurt my knee scene.
Oh yeah.
That's like the least goriest part of the movie.
It's the most painful.
It's the most painful looking thing in the world. But so anyways, yeah, there's a lot of people that are unhappy with the movie, and I think a lot of them are die-hard Evil Dead fans. I'm a die-hard Evil Dead fan.
I am too.
Bruce Campbell is the man.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi is the man. Ted Raimi is the man.
But there's a significant difference between what we watched before and what we watch now.
You know, I hear this complaint a lot. They're like, well, Josh. It's not slapstick enough. Okay, let's go all the way back to 1981, the first Evil Dead.
Okay, here we go. Now we're in 81. I just
missed the boat.
1981 graphics and stuff, and it's like,
we don't have that big of a budget. Anyway,
What would have been funny is if we edited it to where you actually jumped and you were gone.
we're like, whoa! You're just like,
Clay's like by himself.
let's do that. Can we do that?
Yeah, we can try doing that. Anyway,
we'll fix it.
okay, cut. So,
I thought we were gonna get up.
oh no, we're gonna get back to it. We can do it. So, a lot of people, they say, Josh, it's not slapstick enough. Let's go back to 1981. Shut up.
I'm sorry, it's fun. Keep going.
1981. Original Evil Dead came out. They set out to not make a stupid.
It was supposed to be scary.
It was. They were calling it the most grueling thing in terror you've ever seen.
And it was not.
And it-
Sheen. Since Charlie. I'm sorry, dude. You keep. It's
Okay.
puns
Anyway,
everywhere. Yeah, it was supposed to be scary, and
it was taking itself very
I don't know. I
seriously.
wasn't alive then, so was it scary?
I still this that yes, it was over the top, especially for its time. It was cheaply made even for its time,
Yeah.
but it was still a serious movie, and it still had some genuine scares in it, and that's why most die-hard Evil Dead fans will call it their favorite. This movie takes itself seriously. Is there some of that tongue-in-cheek in the background?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But you kind of have to have some dark humor in you, or you have to know the old movies as well to notice.
Yeah, because they did a lot of like certain ways the cinematography was shot. Like it was a great throwback to the original film. The necklace thing, I didn't even realize that.
There's
like,
even sound bits from the old movies hidden within some of the
and the car,
louder spots.
the car that she was laying on at the very beginning of the film.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that Sam Raimi puts that car in every single one of his movies?
Really?
It's in some background. It's in every one of his movies.
Didn't he do Spider-Man?
I'm sure it's in
Is
Spider-Man
it in
somewhere.
Spider-Man?
I'm sure it was one of the
Now I'm
cars.
gonna have to go back and look. But Evil Dead's awesome. Don't go expecting. Why would you want Evil Dead to be remade just like it was? Why would I want to watch the same movie again when it's already perfection as it
Right,
is?
you go buy it
Let's
for $10.
just see another version. This is, and even the directors have said this. These are their own two continuities. They exist in two different
That are supposed
worlds.
to cross over at some point.
Yes, if this movie, if it does well, it has to.
Oh yeah, it's already made its budget back.
and
like
it gets
tenfold.
enough feedback from fans and things like that.
They want to do a
They
sequel.
want to do a sequel to it, and also Sam Raimi has come around
And wants to do
and said
Army
he's
of Darkness
working on a
2.
script for Army of Darkness 2.
And
Now
then-
Sam Raimi does talk a lot,
Yeah.
but hopefully he falls through on this.
But
one. This is
then-
bread and butter. Come on,
But then the way cooler out of all those, we did Evil Dead 2
remake
and-
Evil Dead 2.
the remake of Evil Dead. Well, I guess it's not a remake of 2, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
the
yeah.
sequel to this movie that just came out.
Right.
Then we'll get Army of Darkness 2,
Mhm.
and then
And
we'll
a
get the
seventh film,
and it will cross over, and we'll get see
We'll
Mia, who's the
the
main
new
chick
main chick.
in Evil Dead, and Ash, and they'll be like
And the same
kicking
movie.
butts together.
Now, of course, Bruce Campbell has come out. I think he's got a little bit of cynicism in him over these movies where he's
Oh, it's
like,
taking so long for anything to
yeah,
happen, so.
it's been 32 years since the original, and I'm sure he loves the character and wants to do it. But until someone is like, here's a piece of paper, sign it, and you'll be acting the role, I think he's just like, it's all talk. Until
Right.
then, it's all talk.
Speaking of Bruce
But-
Campbell, stay after credits. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
stay after the
I
credits.
missed it.
There's a
I
fun
left.
fun tidbit for you.
Yeah,
I didn't get to
Uh,
see it.
but the movie itself, I really enjoyed. Like, I thought while the plot wasn't anything new, I mean, like, Evil Dead's not even about the plot. It's about like the characters and how they're interacting with like this space. But I thought all the characters were really good. Mia, the chick who played Mia, she was awesome. Not only was she
very good.
very good looking, she was a very good
Very
actress.
good
Like,
actress.
because she had to play spoiler. She had to play like the role of the evil chick.
Pretty much the ultimate villain in the movie.
Yeah,
for the
like the
most
main
part, for
villain.
the most thing.
And then
most
she
of the
also
movie.
got to play the hero,
The hero.
at the end. So
And yes, there you go. Ash, in a sense, is back in this movie, but it's not Ash. It's not named Ash. It's like, what if?
he was a hot girl,
Yeah,
a hot teenage girl
right.
that should be in my bed
I mean, spoiler alert.
if she's old enough.
Spoiler alert. But yes, I mean, she becomes badass. She starts saying lines like, "I'm tired of this shit."
The lines.
Demon. Yeah.
They had some of the
Oh.
best lines. The spoilers, way spoilers. If you don't want to see funny lines, the line
I
where
need a
she's
spoiler.
like, she's the demon and she's like locked in the basement, in the little hole.
Oh, yeah.
That was some of the funniest lines I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, but they savor. There's that tongue in cheek for you. Just a little bit of that. Her brother. She's a demon. Her brother comes up. And she looks up and goes, Why don't you come down here and let me suck your cock, pretty boy?
It's great,
It's just,
it's
it's so good.
And when like her brother's girlfriend goes down to like see her and check on her, and she tries to escape, and she's like kissing on her leg, and she splits her tongue down the middle, and she goes, "Give me a kiss, you smelly cock." It was so great.
It's so good. Evil Dead out of 6 thumbs. I give it 2.
I give it to you.
2. You got a full 6 thumbs.
Yeah.
So
You're going to Hollywood.
Evil Dead, go see it.
And I think just the last quick thing, I think the original arm cutting off scene in the original movies, I think this one was way grosser.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
I watched a documentary on how they did that today.
How'd they
It's
do it?
actually really cool.
How'd they do it?
There was actually behind the cabinet. There was another girl with her arm with the prosthetic infected arm,
Oh, okay.
like this, and she had this part was actually it was her arm. It was that behind the scenes actress. It was her arm, and then this part was prosthetic, had all the blood and stuff in it.
Cool.
And they it was really cool to watch them do that. But anyways, we give it 6 thumbs. Go watch it. It's amazing, and don't judge it off the old stuff. The old stuff's great, but it's fun to relive it today. It was a fun movie.
That should be our rating for everything.
6 thumbs.
It's kinda
Out of 6
Yeah.
thumbs.
Out of
Like,
6 thumbs.
but half. Like.
We'll have to do math.
Hey, welcome back from our jump cut that we just did that you didn't get to see.
Jump cut. So, in other news, Evil Dead's awesome, but what else has been happening? Clay, why don't you?
It's
The,
looking
it's
up.
the right one.
our Lineage 2 Dark Elf is
Dumb.
Who made her cameo appearance in the 2nd episode's intro?
yeah.
You mean
Oh,
her
this
butt.
is 3rd episode. I said
Yeah.
it was 4th episode.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You're dumb.
Anyway, I guess going through the rundown.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of news this week, unfortunately.
There has been.
It's been kind of dry. I mean, there's been little tidbits here and there, but nothing really worth.
The big
reporting
thing
on.
was Evil Dead was awesome.
Yeah, that was probably the big thing. Batman though. Batman got announced today.
Yeah,
Or not today, but
Tuesday.
yesterday.
Tuesday. Batman Origins, which is the
Arkham Origins.
Arkham Origins, which
Yeah.
is the prequel to everything.
Yeah, not being made by Rocksteady.
That's a problem.
It's not being made by Rocksteady.
But
Here's the
but
great ones.
but Rocksteady said that they had full confidence in what Warner Brothers was doing. So
Yeah, I'm sure BioWare said that to EA when they took over Mass Effect 3. Yeah. Look,
no, do not get out of Mass Effect 3 right now.
I'm just very. When you take original creators off of something,
I'm not going to.
It never turns
No,
out the
it's
same.
never going to be as
Hey,
good as the ones that were.
I'm not going to say that I'm happy about it because I'm not. Like I wanted because we talked about this a long time ago. I want Rocksteady to do it, and they're not, and I'm pissed. But
I want Rocksteady to do a Ninja Turtle game like that rumor was about a year ago.
what's that
We
one?
already got-
Oh, that would have been
We already
amazing.
got that new TMNT game coming out.
It looks
there.
cool. I know, but Rocksteady would still make it better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make it better.
But this Batman game is going to have an interesting story. I mean, it's going back to whenever he kind of first started, when he first met his
It's like
villain.
it's like Batman Year One. Basically.
Yeah.
It's like Batman Year One if Warner Brothers made it into a video game.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be
I don't
Batman.
know. I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. I pre-ordered mine today, and
Oh, it'll be successful because the
Because
people who don't like look into stuff like we do, they'll be like, oh, it's got Arkham in it. It's got to be made by the same guys. It's got to be the exact same game.
Right.
So they'll go buy it.
Well, there's big.
Look, I
there's,
want
there's the informed and the uninformed.
Uninformed. Look.
They buy it because that name on the front.
exactly like people. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I want it to be good. It's just, man, there's only one example I can think of like when and this goes for like almost anything where like the original creators were taken off and a new team did good. And that was Halo 4. It was really good. That was like better. That was better than all the Bungie games that they made. I don't care if anybody says that. Like the best single player ever.
well, come October, we'll find out, or hopefully we'll have more info later.
You know what else comes out in October? The new Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon X and
Pokemon
T.
not as cool. Y. Get X version.
It's not T.
no, get Y, Dragon Bird all the way.
Okay, whatever. It's perfectly stupid. So anyways, the new Pokemon game's coming out, and we got a new Pokemon.
Being the bird.
That's what I tell my girlfriend too. I'm being a bird, baby.
Well, you don't have a girlfriend.
I hate you. You're so mean to me.
It's because I love you.
So anyways, yeah. So this week they announced the new Pokemons. a new.
Oh yeah.
It's like a version of Mewtwo.
Which we have? I'll get a picture.
Yeah.
Mew 3.
Oh, we don't know what it's gonna be called.
Hopefully.
There's actually 2 different versions of it.
I've only seen one.
Yeah, there's like an X version and a Y version, and the Y version's the one that's been seen by itself, probably the one you saw. But I actually like the X version a lot better. I think it looks a lot cooler. But yeah, we don't know anything about it other than like
It has to be Mew 3. It looks like Mewtwo.
we don't know. Like all they said on like the semi-Pokedex entry was like, oh, it has something to do with Mewtwo, and that was it. So
It doesn't make sense though how it's Mew 3 because the Pokemon ring that they had that created Mewtwo got like shut down and Giovanni's gone. So how could it be Mew 3? I don't know.
Man, you're so lame. I was not even gonna get into any of that. I was just like, let's just leave it and say it's a game. It's just like
I'm just saying. I just want to know.
I don't want to know the inner work. I just Pokemon. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna put it in a ball and I'm gonna put it in my pocket.
Well, you,
It's gonna be my slave.
well, you
Sorry.
just.
These are your Pokemon experts right here.
You
You
suck.
gotta leave me out of
You
this.
suck. And you know what else
I'm
sucks?
not a Pokemon person. What's up?
You know what else sucks?
Me because I don't
Who?
like Pokemon.
Maybe like who else sucks?
Who else sucks?
Or is it whom? EA.
EA, Electronic Arts. It's in the game. Is that, did I get that right?
Yeah, it's their slogan.
Is it
Yeah.
their
Hey, it used to be, what was it, like, it's in the game.
Hey,
like
remember
that
EA?
EA Sports.
Remember when EA?
It's in the game.
EA used to be cool.
That was really good. That was really good. We should get like double experience for that.
No, you have to pay for it, dude. It's a microtransaction. What are you talking about?
Give me an achievement.
So, anyways, that little jab aside, EA actually won the consumerist poll for worst company in America for the second year. It's the first time it's ever happened in this poll.
Who did they beat out? Who did they beat out?
Oh, they beat out Bank of America.
Bank
Yeah.
of America.
And they, repossesses people's houses and, So anyways, yeah, they lost and they were, I think Polygon got a hold of them and was like, they reached out for a comment and like basically all they said was, oh, we'll do better. I'm like, okay, yeah. They tried to blame it on, I think the last time they blamed it on Mass Effect. They're like, oh, well, it's just fans that didn't like that was their like, we don't really deserve it, that's why, but
It's just a bunch of flamers blaming us. No,
Yeah.
you just suck.
and it's like, that's,
Sorry, but you do.
And now like the EA or the SimCity fiasco and stuff. So I don't know, but they did win worst company and it's
Good for them.
I hate EA. I just do.
It's kind of like our cable company right here. It's like
Suddenly.
You're not connected.
yeah, it's like I mean, here's the comparison. EA, they'll put out some games I want to play. Mass Effect. I like the Dead Space games. They're not phenomenal, but I want to play them. So I have to go to EA to get these games. It's like Suddenlink. If I want cable,
Yeah,
I have to go to Suddenlink.
yeah.
Well, I think the other thing about it is
I don't know why I got on that.
they like. I think the other thing about EA is around a couple years ago they actually took some chances with some new IPs and they were trying out new, but like they're not doing that anymore. Like now they're just rehashing the same. They're like, there's a year that Dead Space came out and Mirror's Edge came out, and it's like I'm glad Mirror's Edge has not been milked that bad. Although Mirror's Edge 2 will be coming out sometime soon. They're working on it right now. But yeah, so good job EA. You got the Golden Poo Award, and that's not a joke. That's what the consumers gave them. It's like a big golden poo.
giant pile of
Golden Poo.
poo.
Dookie.
Speaking of Doogie, no, I have no way to segue.
I think it's Dookie.
Happened no-
Probably since this week's been quiet, the biggest news regarding video game
News.
would be the Xbox.
The next box.
That's what we're calling it.
So it hasn't an official name yet?
Nope.
No, the development kit is called Durango.
Well,
But some things that we
because that's totally cool.
Right. Well, one thing that we do know is that I think that I found out on Tuesday was that it's running off of AMD, which means I found out GPU. It's not backwards compatible. It's going to be just like the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's got a different
No backwards
architecture.
compatible.
It's got a different architecture than the last
Which
one.
is a turn off because that turned a lot of people
Well,
off.
I don't know. You gotta think that that's what they're like. The PS4 is not gonna have technically.
They'll have the streaming nonsense.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so you can still. I mean, it's still kind of backwards compatible. But right now, we don't know anything. And that's the thing. We just don't know anything.
I guarantee you that if there's a technology that PlayStation 3 puts in their console, like a streaming service or something like that,
Xbox can do
Xbox
too.
will have
Yeah.
a version of it. They won't let each other outdo each
Right.
other.
Yeah.
But
They'll
that's
stay neck and neck.
that's not the problem that everyone's having with Microsoft. Like there's a lot of Xbox fanboys that are wanting to jump to PlayStation because of two things. One, Microsoft has settled with a $500 normal model, maybe. But, I mean,
$500.
these right now are just rumors, so don't believe anything, but don't also disregard it. $500 normal model, $300 contract model, like a cell phone contract. You'll pay monthly for it, so technically you'll pay for their Xbox Live, whether you like it or not. If you don't, they'll shut off your console. Then the big one is online always. Your Xbox must be connected online always. If it's not, you have 3 minutes.
So it's official now.
No. Everything. Those two things are just.
So
rumors.
this is all rumors.
But
It's all speculation.
But this is the 5th time it's come back, and this is the heaviest it's ever been. So
we would. It's still we don't
Look,
know
because
exactly.
because that
Look,
that Microsoft.
I'll say I'll put
tweeted
this.
all that
I'll do this. I don't think they're gonna do always online because I really don't think. Like if we're three guys sitting here and we all know that it would be horrible if it was an always online you have to know they have people that are getting paid to think about this stuff. Like, I wonder how people would react to always online consoles. It'd be horrible. People would not, because like I think the statistics were like 30% of all current Xbox owners aren't even hooked up to the internet.
Yeah.
Some people don't have good enough internet. And like that was another thing that Xbox. He's a creative director for some
That
Xbox.
guy that came out on Twitter.
Yeah, and he was like, him and this guy from Bioware got into it. And they're like,
He pretty much said, "Oh, you don't have good internet. Oh, you don't have internet.
too bad.
Deal with it."
Oh yeah,
That's what he said.
He did the cool Obama meme.
He did the Obama meme. He's like,
with it.
"Deal with it,"
It was
and
awesome.
everyone was like,
But and I'll say this. I'll say this. These reports we're getting for this always online Xbox. A lot of them are coming from people who are playing around with the dev kits. Do you know what else was always online? The original Xbox 360 with the dev kits, because that's how
They have the track.
that's how Microsoft tracks them. So, and like I said, until that press conference comes out, which I think is May 21st, they're going to reveal the new Xbox, and they actually say it's always online. I'm still like, I'm still like,
and until then, we have to sit and wait.
So that's what we're gonna do. The new Xbox will
no hard. There's no
look
hard
to
news
the
yet.
look to the future.
The only thing we know is
Except the past, because we play PC and our parts are actually good. Yeah. PC players.
$500 is a lot to pay for a
that was
console.
puny.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$500 is a lot to pay for a console, but it's not a lot to go see Evil Dead again.
What?
whoa.
What are you doing out on the floor?
Just chilling. Because that's how his dad made him.
Terrible.
So discussions for this episode.
Yeah.
Our discussion question this week or whatever.
Yeah. In light of Evil Dead, because it was so good.
Right.
It
And
is. I wouldn't call it a reboot, but it is a reboot. But
Remake.
It's not,
It's a
it's
reboot.
not a remake.
It's a remake, reboot, reimagining,
Rebirth.
whatever you want to call it.
There you go.
and it's not just movies either.
And so we got movies, we got games, we got
We've got
comic books.
If you haven't realized it right now, our discussion question is going to be about reboots, remakes, reinterpretations.
Are they
whatever.
good or are they useless? What's their
Now, of course, like just talking Evil Dead real quick.
It was awesome. It revitalized the franchise, I think.
Right. Now, we've the past so many years we've had a lot of reboots.
Oh, you mean
remakes.
everything that comes out of Hollywood?
Yeah, and very up and down, especially in the horror franchises. That have been rebooted. None of them been
Friday
really
the
great.
13th, the
Yeah,
Nightmare
they've
on
all
Elm
just
Street,
been like,
Halloween.
They've either been like or
Yeah,
so,
it hasn't been one that's been like truly great.
it's where has our original ideas gone? Not very few and far between do we see them. Mr. Rogers, will you please enlighten us with your immense knowledge on rebooting of franchise?
Okay, that's how I got my degree in, was rebooting the franchises.
Me too.
I don't know, like, I see where they're coming from, because it's like these old movies aren't as accessible anymore. Like, a new fan, like or a younger kid or younger generation, maybe they're not gonna go pick up a cheesy looking cover for Evil Dead, or a cheesy looking cover for like one of the original Friday the 13th, or any movie, really. So I get their mindset behind it, and maybe I'm thinking that they have better intentions. Because if I wanted to do it, I'd be like, oh, well, I want to introduce it to a new generation. But I think maybe sometimes, and maybe not in the case of Evil Dead, because it was so good and it had a bunch of the original
It was
people.
just so well made.
Yeah, it had a bunch. It had Bruce Campbell.
And a lot of love behind it.
But I think a lot of production companies are like, oh, this is a big franchise. People know this name. Let's remake it, and we'll get a lot of money.
People will pay $8 a ticket to go see this.
And we'll make a bunch of money.
Yeah,
We don't
and
care.
don't put a whole lot of time or effort into it.
Exactly. In games are a little bit different. There have been a handful of reboots and remakes, and they're usually, even if they're good, even if they're better, like, nobody's gonna say they're better, because gamers are so like nostalgic, and they're just like, this is not the one I played when I was 8 years old, like, and then freak out. The best example I can give of that is Devil May Cry.
I was about to say that.
Because and it technically wasn't even a reboot, it was a reimagining, which is one of the things we're talking about. It happened in a parallel universe, and everything was new. And so I don't like, I didn't get all the hate for it, because if you just don't associate it with the original ones, it's a fun game. I don't
Just
get
take it for what it is.
Exactly.
Don't care.
But that's the problem, is people can't do that. People can't not compare stuff. I mean, by definition, that's what's going to happen with the remake. I mean, when you saw, the reason it didn't happen for Evil Dead is because it really wasn't a remake. It was a reimagining. It was like, it didn't have anything to do with the original, different characters, even though the Necronomicon looked different. But if you take like a straight reboot, that's like the exact same story, exact same characters, it's by definition, it's going to have to be compared. It's like, oh, well, let's compare the same characters and these actors, and so.
Clay, what are your thoughts on the rebooting of a franchise?
Mine's actually pretty sweet and simple. Like, I love reboots, I love remakes, because I think a lot of them that I've seen or played have been good. Tomb Raider.
You stole it. I was going to talk about Tomb
It's
Raider.
all yours. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Devil May Cry. You got it there before I did. Movie-wise, Evil Dead, Spider-Man. It got the reboot kinda.
Yeah, I mean, so good.
But then at the same time, you have the ones that aren't so good, like
Like a new Star Trek movie. Suck dick.
Star Trek.
No, that was good. I was just kidding.
I know, but I would say on the good side. But bad side, you've got like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. The ones that they try. But at the same time,
It's pretty safe to say a lot of the horror movies.
right. But there's some other ones that, But
The new Willy Wonka.
yeah,
Tim Burton's
like
Wonka.
yeah.
Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. Oh, that was so good. Oh my god, that was awful.
Yeah. But Batman. That was another big remake.
That was good.
I have a cat.
I don't know what that is.
Anyway, the reason I love them is because, and even if they are bad, it's because whoever's doing it, unless you're M. Night Shyamalan,
Solomon. You suck, Clay.
M. Night Shyamalan. We pick on him way too much.
I still respect them for what they do and that they have these great ideas and they have the courage to go out and do it, even though it may not be good. And if it is good, then they have successfully done what they
I
supposed
think
to do.
sometimes I had this idea in my mind. I was like, there's good and there's just not accepted
Right.
by audience.
Right.
And sometimes that's the thing. There might be a really good reboot out there, and it's just not accepted by the majority of people.
And that's what I was saying.
But most of the time, it's just not good.
I'll give you an example of that one that I think was a really good reboot or whatever remake that was not accepted by audiences. Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one, that brought me back. I was like, this is the 1980s. This is the exact same. It's like because I'm a big slasher fan. Like horror movies are okay, but like the subgenre in horror, as in slasher movies, love them because they're so fun. And it's just like all the teenagers, and if they're gonna have sex, they're gonna die, and like all the rules that Scream basically told you. That's what I love. And I thought that it was such a good like updated slasher. Same with Scream 4.
I absolutely enjoyed that movie a lot.
And then he ruined it by making the second one. But it's funny too because like, he did an interview and he's like, well, the first one I wanted to really be a lot like the original ones, just an updated version. And then the second one, he's like, with the second one, I wanted it to be like my own vision, and that's why it sucked. So if he had stuck to like the track, I'd been good. Anyways,
Alright, for Josh.
Reboots, remakes.
Reboots, remakes. You know, like everything, we can sit and generalize people. We can sit and generalize anything, and generalization is a natural thing we do as human beings, but it also can get you in trouble. Just look and say, well, reboots are bad. Well, no, there are good reboots out there. Tomb Raider, great. No, it's nothing like the original, but that's why it's a reboot. I mean, you could not. The reason why Tomb Raider went downhill back in the day is it turned the same thing with Resident Evil. It was like, hey, let's use the same engine, let's do the same thing, update the graphics a little bit, okay. In the second game, guess what the new thing is? You can climb ladders. Woo!
Yep, basically.
And she has an actual ponytail, and her boobs are a little rounder, few more pixels.
Yeah.
And then every game, her boobs got a little bit more rounder, and they gave her like I think the third game she could crawl.
Yeah.
Thank God for the reboot where they look good.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reboots that just that don't take off, like the new Friday the 13th that they came out with a few years back.
It wasn't bad. I wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was general. You know, you can tell when someone has a love for something and spend some time to make a good product that's worth paying to see, to play, to watch, buy, whatever. And then you can tell when it's just
half-assed.
Yeah, half-assed, thrown out there and said,
"We want money. Give us that weekend money.
We want to like put this much money into it and make this much money." And that's never going to happen. I don't know when Hollywood's not going to realize this. Put this much money in it, and you can make this much money. You know, make something well. Take your time to take pride in what you do.
Here's the thing I want to know: what do you think warrants a reboot and a remake? Like, when do you think it's a good time to do it? Because I feel like sometimes stuff is rebooted.
Well, let's do
too
this.
Quickly.
Evil Dead. All three of the original movies, I do believe, did not very well in theaters. I don't think they absolutely bombed. But yeah, with the VHS releases and stuff like that, and actually the original Evil Dead got bigger overseas before it did in America.
Right.
And so it was one of those things that's become a cult classic, built huge fan base. People love those movies. They're my favorite movies. I'll say it again. And you know, it's been years since those movies came out, and there's a lot of new people that are just now learning about those original movies because of this new one. I when we left the theater, I could hear somebody going, "This movie was a rip off of Cabin in the Woods," and I wanted to turn around and just be like,
"You don't know what you're talking about."
Don't know what you're talking about. Now, you know, to me, your phone is screaming at us.
You're dumb.
To me, sometimes.
One of the biggest controversies.
It can breathe new life into something, bring it back to life. Something that's been dead for a while that doesn't need to die.
And other times it can just go get the corpse.
Yeah,
It can just be awful. But no, the reason I ask like what warrants a reboot or you know when you should do it, there was a lot of the last big controversy I can think of was the Amazing Spider-Man. I love the Amazing Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
So good. Way better than. I thought it was way better than Sam Raimi's stuff, just because Sam Raimi's stuff.
I respect Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I like those first two Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
The third one, we'll forget that it even exists.
Yeah, it was just, but it's not aging well at all.
Mark Webb's.
Yeah.
Do Amazing Spider-Man.
It was great, but I remember when it was coming out, even like weeks to the release, people were just like, "Why do we need a reboot? It was just a couple years ago.
It's another origin story."
And I'm just like, no, it's completely different. Like, it's way better. It's not based off the awful Ultimate Universe.
It's much more like the original Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man comic book. So I don't know. Like, some people said it was too soon. I didn't think it was too soon at all. I thought it was just a new form of
different strokes for different folks and
different strokes.
Yeah, love it. You've never.
What you talking about, John?
I don't like it.
Anyway.
Whoa!
You are totally gonna have to cut that out.
What? How many black people do you think watch our show?
Whoa!
Okay. Anyway.
I love you, black people.
We would love to hear what you think about reboots.
Comment section.
Go see Evil Dead. Let me know what you think. Now, if you tell me you didn't like it, I'm
Again, it's all about you,
block
isn't
you.
it? Just let me. Don't let these guys know what you think. Just let me. You're so selfish.
Yeah, go watch Evil Dead. Put it in the comment section what you thought about it. Prove this guy wrong that you're a bigger fan than him.
And direct all of your comments to me.
I even went looking at a local shop today for a Ash figure to put on our.
Oh, Ash Ketchum?
And I.
Pokemon? Anybody? Okay.
Speaking of Pokemon, what do you think about Mew 3? Is it Mew 3 or is it not?
Are you gonna buy the new Xbox?
I'm not. I have a PC.
So anyway, let us know. We want to hear from you. Tell your friends about us.
Follow us on Twitter.
Especially if they're hot. Anyway,
And follow us on Twitter.
follow us on Twitter. Then follow us.
Wait. Let me make an amendment to that.
Bam.
Especially if they're hot females. You said if they're hot, so I was like, well,
I knew what you said.
I was like, I don't want any hot dudes
This guy.
like comment, no, hey, what's
This guy.
up?
We want you all.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it. Yeah.
Until next time. Woo.
Put it in Clay's hair. What are you doing?
No!
Alright, so, yeah, he did. Oh man, see that toad and how much damage he did? Man. Japanese frogs do a lot of damage.
I have a save file on there somewhere, unless someone deleted it.
I did.
Fuck you!